Hey everybody, off the Mike Sports Network here. I know I'm reacting a little bit late to Cavs getting on the board 126-104 against the Indiana Pacers. Man, this was an impressive win on so many different fronts. So yeah, I mean, first and foremost, let's talk about the Cavs because there's some stuff on the Indiana side that's really starting to irritate me and are starting to irritate a lot of the fan base. I have a lot of respect for some of their guys, but man, they're starting to play some dirty games in this thing, and I'm losing some respect. But we'll get there in a second. Cavs, three guys that came back, big performance, specifically the biggest impact of all, I think, of those three guys specifically coming back was Evan Mobley. Goes 18 and 13. He has 3 blocks, 3 steals. Yes, he had some ball handling issues. 6 of 13 from the field, and a plus 26, but he was freaking outstanding. And you could see they went to a zone, and Tyrese Halliburton was having a tough time even taking a shot, like that he couldn't get a shot over Evan Mobley. And you could see that the message was very clear that, hey, Tyrese Halliburton is not beating us. Like, he is not beating us. Like, and then whereas the rest of the team was just flying around defensively, it was just a really impressive effort. I've got to shout out Jared Allen, because in terms of the other guy, before I get to Jared Allen, Darius Garland only played 25 minutes. He had 4 fouls in the first half, but had 10 points, and you could see he was moving okay. You could tell he was having a hard time and he was in pain, but he was moving relatively okay. DeAndre Hunter, 8 points off the bench, hit a 3, was only 1 of 5. Cavs as a team, 14 of 47. They're still under 30% threes. So if you want to look at something here, they finally won the 3-point battle in this game, in the series, but they still could do a lot better. They missed a ton of free throws. The officiating in this game was horrible. Cavs shot 37 free throws and 28 to 37 from the field, from the free throw line. Donovan Mitchell was special. We'll save him for the end. But I need to point out 2 performances specifically in this game that really, aside from the obvious, them getting 3 guys back, really were the reason why they won. Jared Allen. You guys remember the last 2 years, we've been beating up Jared Allen for being quote unquote soft. Knicks series 2 years ago, and then obviously he was out for the entire for half of the Orlando series and then all of the Boston series. Because I think he cracked a rib or something, and everybody's like, "Oh, he's soft," and so it's kind of the same vein of what was being talked about with these 3 guys who missed game 2. Jared Allen goes for 19 and 12, 2 blocks. He was everywhere defensively. He was even guarding on the perimeter. He was awesome. A plus 38 when he was on the floor. And then Max Strus, who has taken a ton of shit because of how inconsistent he can be. The last 2 games, aside from that one inbounds play, he has been freaking special in this series. 8 of 12, 4 of 8 from 3, 20 points, 7 assists, 7 rebounds, plus 32 on when he was on the floor. That's the reason the Cavs won the game. Yes, it was helpful to have Evan Mobley. Obviously, I think of the people and Darius Garland being able to handle the ball when Donovan Mitchell, it made Donovan Mitchell's performance even more special. And obviously the main key component here is Donovan Mitchell is one of the great playoff performers ever. And let's call it what it is. He is already in 3 seasons the second best Cavalier of all time behind LeBron James. I don't think you can argue that at this point. And if he gets them to a conference finals, and then because they haven't been to a conference finals without LeBron, that's the next step. They've got to come back and win this series. But based on some of the special performances that this guy's put in, he's put in 50, he's put in 48, he puts in 43 tonight. He has 9 rebounds, he has 5 assists. It was just an incredible performance. And the leadership that he has shown is another big piece of this, but he was just freaking fantastic. And he's finally found his outside shot, but he was only 5 of 13 from 3. And he played 37 minutes, and he looked a lot fresher than he did playing 36. You want to know why? Because guys were back, and the usage wasn't there. And I know a lot of people are going to get hung up on, hey, what if the guys could have probably played? We don't know that. all you can do is come back, and I admire the heart, and I admire the tenacity, specifically Evan Mobley. I can't imagine. Darius Garland says he's in a lot of pain, and yet he comes out there, gives him 25 minutes. Yeah, he had some bad fouls, but his ball handling and his movement looked okay. But his pain threshold, like I can't imagine what he's going through. Same thing with DeAndre Hunter having a dislocated thumb on your shooting hand. The one downside of this whole thing, I think Ty Jerome, I don't know if he can play in this series, at least extended minutes. He only had 13 in this one, but he was a minus 15. He was 1 of 8 from the floor. It just looks like the game is too fast for him. You know, Ty Jerome is a very deliberate and slow type of player. That's not to say that he's slow, but it's just like his style works in when you're playing more of a half court, like, style of game. With Indiana, they want to get up and down the floor and gas you out and, just, they say blow you up in terms of like your stamina. And Ty Jerome, it's just not the type of game for him. And I don't know if he can play in this series because he's clearly been picked on a lot. Clearly at the end of game 2, he was picked on, and it's not going to work. But Cavs need another game like this. They need to play better. They only shot 42% from the field and 29% from 3, and they missed 9 free throws. So, and hey, let's looking more here at the stats. They had 14 turnovers. Like there's stuff that they can clean up. That's what's scary about this. And I try to tell all of you after game 2, let's calm down. Let's reset. They get an extra day. Let's see if they can get some of these guys back. They did. And they looked like the Cleveland Cavaliers team that we saw that won 64 games during the regular season. They still got to get one in Indiana to, make this matter. And if they go down 3-1, I like I said, winning this game was the most important thing psychologically for them, because now they've let Indiana know, hey, don't fuck with us. And that's and let's get to the other piece of this. Indiana is playing a dangerous game here, because there has been multiple times in this series. Game 1, I noticed it. I was like, okay, some of that's good hard physical play. But there were multiple occasions where they were making unnecessary basketball plays. Benedict Mathurin just shoved Donovan Mitchell to the ground when he was in midair and, completely, like they say, defenseless. Like it was a defenseless player in midair in a shooting motion. Like there was a 2-hand shove. There was some stuff that just happened in this game that just was way too over the top. And then actually, I think it was Obi Toppin. Actually, it wasn't Benedict Mathurin, but Benedict Mathurin had a couple of physical plays in the series where he was shoving people too. I think there was another screen play where he knocked Jared Allen to the ground. It was like a 2-hand shove to the chest, and that wasn't a basketball play. So, but then near the end of this game, in the final 5 minutes, Cavs up by 20, and James Johnson gets in the game, and I'm like, what the fuck does James Johnson have to do with starters in this game? And literally, first play, he sets an illegal screen up at the neck area. I forgot who it was against. I have a ton of respect for Rick Carlisle, and I have a ton of respect of what Indiana has done as a team this year and as what they did last year getting to the conference finals. But what they have done in this series, in some ways, has stretched far beyond physical play. Like, this has gotten bordering on dirty. And at some point, the league has got to step in. And at some point, these officials have got to get control of this game. And not calling a million fouls like this crew did on Friday night is going to help it. But at some point, there's got to be flagrant fouls thrown out and technical fouls, because this would, like, there was technical fouls for whining and moping and just complaining. But there was a lot of over-the-line play that was going on in this game, and some of which did stretch beyond the mains of basketball. And when you put James Johnson, a guy who is known as a goon and hasn't been an impact player in the NBA for years, he has not been an impact NBA player. He is known as a tough guy. When you put him in the last 5 minutes of the game and your starters are still in there, that is not about garbage time. That is about, they even said it on commentary, which I thought was ridiculous by ESPN, about sending a message. It's like, guys, this is the NBA playoffs, okay? You lost by 20 points. Lose with some dignity. Like, and there were stuff in game 1 that was like, okay, the Miles Turner play where he was in the landing space, sometimes you can't control that, but there wasn't a foul called there. Twisted Evan Mobley's ankle. There was a couple. There was another play. Oh yeah, the DeAndre Hunter where Matherin, shoved him in the chest, and DeAndre Hunter ended up dislocating his thumb. That was a problem. Um, but yeah, there were some problematic things that I saw here from the Indiana side. But what I will say here to close this out is the Cavs sent a message. You want to talk about sending a message? They sent a message with their play, not with and they were more physical, but it was an appropriate way to play physical. And a lot of the tone was set with, Evan Mobley being there. First play of the game, they run a drive. The Jared Allen picks it back out to Max Strus and he hits a three. So this, like I said, the Cavs have not really even they had 14 threes. They were under 30% three-point shooting. They're one of the best shooting teams in basketball, one of the best offensive teams in basketball. Still got 126 points, only making four. Yes, making 14 threes. That's a lot of threes. But again, they shot 46 of them. And people will say, well, Mike, you get mad about Boston and the way that they shot. Guys, Boston, a lot of their offense is based around ball movement, but the Cavs, just the way that they drive to the basket and the way that they move it around and they share it, and they just create so many good shots. They just haven't made a lot of these good shots this series. And at some point, that's going to change. So I am very optimistic, especially after this game, that the Cavs can potentially sustain this. It's obviously going to depend on how a lot of these guys react to playing. Darius Garland's health throughout the series is going to be something to watch. Yeah, he played 25 minutes, and maybe the fouls were kind of a little bit of a blessing in disguise. But whenever he was on the floor, like the pressure was taken off of Donovan Mitchell as a ball handler. He looked a lot fresher at the end of this game. He shot it a lot better than he had in the first two games of this series. So, yeah, I mean, look, I'm very optimistic about the series, but they got to go get 8-4 on Sunday. So, thanks so much for watching this edition of Cavs Thoughts. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye.